one of the other like exciting parts of the product is the self-service side of things. And we've chatted with different folks in the space too, like democratizing BI and allowing, like non-technical users to finally not have to know SQL and be able to
Yeah.
like query stuff and build dashboards and basically have conversation with their data. There's a lot of excitements in this space. But I wanted to ask you about like the risk of replacement for analysts. We asked this to a couple
Mhm.
different folks on the show recently. A lot of people think that it's like some of the jobs most at risk for AI disruption in the next year or two are a mix of like reporting and BI roles. Like think of analysts that are basically just on the front end of the dashboarding and the data viz side of this. And, their jobs are already getting super easier. Like NLP is changing
Yep.
stuff, like non-SQL experts are able to have conversations with their data.
Yep.
It's a category of like recommendations and pattern detection features that are, reshaping the category. There's like predictive engines. I'm less convinced here, but there's also tools like innovating in the data prep and the modeling
Mhm. Mhm.
automation and cleaning integration. What are your thoughts here? Like, are
Yes.
analysts that are just building reports and going to marketing and saying like, "Hey, what dashboard do you need this month?" Like, are those folks up for replacement? What should they be doing differently?
Okay, this is a good topic. I like it as well. I'm a big believer in AI. Honestly, I like AI tools. I use them daily basis on a daily basis. I use Cursor if I need to do some code or whatever, like some script. I use ChatGPT for marketing stuff, like a blog post a lot. So it's a. I really believe in this. Like it improved our lives. With that said, I I'm also this believer in like it will replace current like in the next couple of years like any role significantly. Let's put it significantly. I mean, it might replace some people. You might get like less people hired in software or less people hired in data. But I wouldn't say that you will have a future where there is no data engineers, no data analysts, there is no software engineers because of AI.
Hmm.
Mhm. In the data analytics, I think it's even more critical to have trustability than let's say software engineering. I would say because Imagine you are like, imagine you are in a meeting with the like investors or board meeting or something like that, and there's a question popping up. Whatever, how many sales, I don't know, items we had like last month, and you type it in the chat box, and like the chat box, and like some number come up, and it's like, okay, do we trust this? Did this
Hmm.
hallucinate something? Actually, I have a really good Turing test. Let's go to Turing test. Ask the AI the same question twice. If it gives you back the same answer, that's most likely okay. Uh, for me, I'm still even with ChatGPT, very new like models. Very often get for the same question 2 different answers. In the if I like, I for example ask like a SQL type of question, like how would you solve this in this
Hmm.
data warehouse? This is my data. This is my table. How would you calculate something? And it often still creates syntax errors.
Yeah.
So it is getting there, but it's not there yet. So I would use it as an enhancement to your productivity in every aspect, in every domain, data analytics, software engineering, marketing. So I wouldn't trust a chatbot to write like a blog post entirely.
Hmm.
I would use it to like enhance my let's say mediocre English. This I use very often. So like I write it down. I have like a couple of ideas. I just put like bullet points. It writes an amazing like paragraph. But it actually, I'm still the idea owner. What should go there? So same goes for data. I would say you should know what you are doing, and you should use AI to just to speed yourself up, essentially enhance your or improve your performance. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, definitely agree there. I'm like both super surprised and impressed sometimes. I have both a subscription with Claude and
Yes.
OpenAI, and I often like will ask the same question to both, and sometimes they're very similar, sometimes completely different. One
Yes.
is super helpful, the other one's useless, and they kind of like trade places there. But yeah, sometimes it's super impressive. Sometimes it's just like, really, like you weren't helpful to me at all. Like I was just troubleshooting a templating language issue with a client the other day, and they were building liquid code templating language to
Mhm.
personalize an email. and the token kept breaking. We couldn't figure out why, and we threw it in GPT and both Claude, and we're just like, here's our syntax, here's like our fields. Why is this breaking? And it took like 10 iterations of back and forth. Still doesn't work. Try this. Still doesn't work. Try this. And they didn't get it. They
Yeah.
couldn't figure it out. Sometimes they do, but yeah, it is like moving super super fast. But yeah, I was curious to get your take on the analyst stuff specifically because I know you're in the space and there has been a lot of cool excitement there. Like I was just researching a tool that ThoughtSpot was using. I forget the name of it, but it's essentially like you have a chatbot experience. Like it's an
Mhm.
LLM. They built it. It's proprietary, and it sits on top of your data warehouse. And
Yes.
you literally have a conversation with your data, and you can also say like, "Hey, like this query that I just said, like turn that into a SQL syntax." And
Yes.
so like that's been changing super fast, and yeah, I don't know. It's exciting and also
I I I think everybody is coming up with this text to SQL
yeah.
solution. I have a quite strong opinion about that. SQL, the language itself, is a bit too granular, like fine-grained, to be supported by like an LLM. I give you another example, like for coding. Let's say imagine vibe coding. If the LLM writes every single line of code, you are really easily getting into like a trouble that you are not able to get out.
Yeah.
But there are coming tools that like there are some tools that are not using the line of code as a block of like unit of that LLM can generate, but some kind of bigger code blocks. So like this is definitely must be here in this application. Let's say authentication piece. You don't need to reinvent as an LLM every time you write an application
Mm,
the authentication piece. It's already done. It's like a solved problem, or like Stripe integration, or like I don't know integration to your whatever type of like database or something. It is solved already. You have a lot of snippets on GitHub that you can just copy paste. Problem with these LLMs, they are not copy pasting solved solutions. They are kind of, I would say, reimagining it with their hallucinations. And it's always different. And I would say the same goes for data analytics, that there are certain blocks of SQL code that you don't need to reinvent. I give you an example, like for product marketing analytics, calculating a funnel, it should look like roughly the same in every company. It's not black magic. You have like either you do a join or there is like another way to do with window functions. Each has some like pros and cons. But the funnel calculation in SQL is like there's two ways to do it essentially, and you shouldn't reinvent the wheel as an LLM. So you should just take this block. There is some placeholders you plug in, and just execute that block. So what we are trying to build in the future is we are embracing AI to the application as well, but we are not going to reinvent like writing the SQL code. We believe that these blocks of SQLs are like they're solved. The AI should just pick these blocks up and stitch them together, and therefore there will be much less space for error. That's my way of like think of AI, especially for
yeah.
us in the application.